Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, please consider subscribing and clicking on the bell for notifications. This is the channel to learn about literature and life. Today we're going to be doing a lesson from Writing Down the Bones, Natalie Goldberg's famous book, which I've said many times is probably the best book for writing prompts, especially for creative nonfiction. And we're looking at a lesson which is called Writing is a Communal Act. And if you're one of my students in English 210 this semester, then the writing prompt at the end of this is going to be one of the required and graded entries. So you'll need to write 10-minute stream of consciousness. And if you're not one of my current students, then follow along because this is a brilliant little lesson, and I've adapted the end of it for a nice, easy-to-use writing prompt. So let's just jump right into it. Again, this is from Natalie Goldberg's book, Writing Down the Bones. A student said, "I'm reading so much Hemingway. I'm afraid I'm beginning to sound like him. I'm copying him and not having my own voice." That's not so bad. It's a lot better to sound like Ernest Hemingway than like Aunt Bethune, who thinks that Hallmark greeting cards contain the best poetry in America. We always worry that we are copying someone else, that we don't have our own style. Don't worry. Writing is a communal act. Contrary to popular belief, a writer is not Prometheus, alone on a hill full of fire. We are very arrogant to think that we alone have a totally original mind. We are carried on the backs of all the writers who came before us. We live in the present with all the history, ideas, and soda pop of this time. It all gets mixed up in our writing. Writers are great lovers. They fall in love with other writers. That's how they learn to write. They take on a writer, read everything by him or her, read it over again until they understand how the writer moves, pauses, and sees. That's what being a lover is. Stepping out of yourself, stepping into someone else's skin. Your ability to love another's writing means those capabilities are awakened in you. It will only make you bigger. It won't make you a copycat. The parts of another's writing that are natural to you will become you, and you will use some of those moves when you write, but not artificially. Great lovers realize that they are what they are in love with. That is what happened to Allen Ginsberg when he wanted to write so that Jack Kerouac could understand him. And I think that this quote that she has comes from an interview back in the 70s with Allen Ginsberg and Robert Duncan. And so her quote is, "Being in love with Jack Kerouac, he discovered he was Jack Kerouac. That's something love knows. You are Ernest Hemingway on a safari when you read Green Hills of Africa. And then you are Jane Austen looking at Regency women, and then Gertrude Stein doing her own cubism in words. And then you are Larry McMurtry in Texas, walking to the pool hall in a dusty town." So writing is not just writing, it is also having a relationship with other writers. And don't be jealous, especially secretly. That's the worst kind. If someone writes something great, it's just more clarity in the world for all of us. Don't make writers other, different from you. They are good and I am bad. Don't create that dichotomy. It makes it hard to become good if you create that duality. The opposite, of course, is also true. If you say, "I'm great and they aren't," then you become too proud, unable to grow as a writer or hear criticism of your work. Just, "They are good and I am good." That statement gives a lot of space. They have been at it longer, and I can walk their path for a while and learn from them. Great. Now I'm going to skip the last page of our short lesson. There was one more page there, but I'm going to go into a prompt. And I think this is a little bit of a better way to end this because I've got a distinct thing that I want you to think about and then write about. So in this lesson, Natalie Goldberg comments on how important it is for us as writers and creative people in general to be more open and fluid in our respect and appreciation for other writers. She comments on how normal it is to fall in love with writers, especially those with distinctive writing voices, Hemingway, Kerouac, Jane Austen, Gertrude Stein, etc. I remember when I was an undergraduate at the University of Iowa, my girlfriend and I were both English majors taking creative writing classes. She became obsessed with Toni Morrison and was reading all of Morrison's fiction, and it helped my girlfriend to become obsessed with an older and accomplished writer. And it helped my girlfriend's creative writing because she was in fiction writing classes. For myself, before I even entered college, I bought Kerouac's On the Road at City Lights Books when I was in the U.S. Coast Guard and stationed in the Bay Area. That was a life-changing experience, and it was what made me want to leave the Coast Guard and go to college in the first place. So anyway, what's important is that Natalie Goldberg is emphasizing in this writing lesson is this. It's healthy and it's normal to fall in love with an accomplished poet, writer, or artist. And when we do that, it's opening up a channel in ourselves for inspiration and appreciation. So, for my current students in English 210, this is a graded journal entry, and so you'll write stream of consciousness, and just go ahead and write down whatever the date might be. Today's obviously April 16th, and so you could be writing this tonight, or if you're writing it anytime this weekend, you're just going to go ahead and write down the correct date and time, and then 10 minutes stream of consciousness. So, think about all of the writers that we've looked at in this class, and everyone from T.S. Eliot, Charlotte Perkins Gilman, Kate Chopin, Langston Hughes, Zora Neale Hurston. We read all of these wonderful writers, Richard Wright, and of course Hemingway and Kerouac. And then if you're not one of my students, but you've just stumbled upon this or you're subscribed to me on YouTube, think about who is your favorite writer, and you can do this very instinctually, just trust your intuition, and then you're going to write stream of consciousness, keep your pen moving, keep your hand moving, don't try and worry about spelling or grammar or anything like that. And if you need to, you can of course have already watched my earlier video, an introduction to stream of consciousness writing, in which I talk about Natalie Goldberg's rules for writing stream of consciousness. So, again, just think whether you're one of my current students in American literature or whether you're just reading this on the internet, who is your favorite writer? And then at the very bottom, which author's voice did you respond to the most and why? Why did it touch you in a personal way? So, very simple, 10-minute stream of consciousness. Which author's voice do you respond to the most and why? And why did it touch you in a personal way? And thank you so much for stopping by my channel. Please consider liking, sharing, subscribing for more videos on literature and life.